Nobody really tells you this before you become a truck driver. They talk about the money. They talk about the freedom. They talk about seeing the country. But nobody really talks about the loneliness. Not the kind of loneliness where you're just bored for a few hours. The kind of loneliness that slowly settles in after weeks on the road. The kind that hits you somewhere around 2 a.m. when the highway is empty and the only sound in the cab is the low hum of the engine and the tires rolling over asphalt. If you've been driving long haul for a while, you already know this feeling. You're somewhere between states, maybe Nebraska, maybe Wyoming, maybe somewhere deep in Texas. It doesn't really matter where you are, because at that moment, every highway starts to feel the same. Miles of darkness ahead, miles of darkness behind you. And for a while, it's just you and the road. A lot of people think truck driving is about freedom, and in some ways, it is. You're not stuck in an office. You're not dealing with a boss breathing down your neck all day. You get to see parts of the country most people never will. Sunrises over the desert, fog rolling through mountain passes, long highways stretching across the plains. But what people don't see is the quiet that comes with it. Truck stops at night have a different kind of atmosphere. Rows of trucks parked side by side, engines ticking as they cool down, drivers stepping out of their cabs, stretching their legs after a long day behind the wheel. Everyone there understands the lifestyle, but at the same time, everyone is living their own road. Some drivers call home, some grab a coffee and keep moving, and some just sit quietly in their cab, thinking. Weeks on the road can do something strange to your mind. You start thinking about things you normally ignore, decisions you've made, mistakes you've made, people you haven't talked to in a long time. There's something about long highways at night that forces you to think, and sometimes those thoughts get heavy. You start wondering if the sacrifices are worth it. Missing birthdays, missing holidays, missing the normal rhythm of everyday life. I once heard an older driver say something that stuck with me. He had been driving for over 20 years, thousands of miles, countless nights on the road, and he said something simple. He said, "The road will show you who you really are." At first that might not make sense, but the longer you spend out here, the more you understand it. Because when you're driving across the country alone, there's nowhere to hide from your thoughts, no distractions, no noise from the outside world, just miles of highway and the quiet inside your own head. But here's the strange thing about that loneliness. It can break some people, but it can also build others. Because when you spend enough time alone with your thoughts, you start understanding yourself better. You start realizing what really matters, what doesn't matter, and what kind of man you want to become. Truck driving isn't just a job. It's a lifestyle, and lifestyles shape people. The road teaches patience, discipline, endurance, because not everyone can handle the isolation. Some people try trucking and quit after a few months, not because they can't drive, but because they can't handle the solitude. And honestly, that's understandable. This job asks a lot from a person. Long days, long nights, long stretches away from the people you care about. But the drivers who stay in this life, the ones who last 10, 15, 20 years on the road, they usually learn something important along the way. They learn how to be comfortable with themselves. Because when you're on the road long enough, you stop running from the quiet. You start accepting it. And sometimes, you even start appreciating it. The truth is, most people will never experience life the way truck drivers do. Most people never spend nights watching the highway stretch endlessly under the stars. Most people never drive through 5 states in a single day. And most people never learn what it feels like to be completely alone with their thoughts for hours at a time. That kind of experience changes a person. Sometimes in hard ways, but sometimes in powerful ways too. Because the road doesn't just move freight across the country, it moves people through life, 1 mile at a time. And if you're a driver listening to this right now, somewhere out there on a quiet highway, just remember something. You're not the only one who has felt that loneliness. Every experienced driver has had those nights, those long, silent miles, those moments where you start questioning everything. But those same miles are also the ones that shape you. They build resilience, they build patience, and sometimes they help you understand life a little better than most people ever will. Because the road has a strange way of teaching lessons. Lessons you can't learn anywhere else. So if you're still out there tonight, hands on the wheel, watching the headlights stretch into the distance, just know something. The road may be lonely sometimes, but it's also shaping you with every mile. And long after the trip is over, those miles will still be part of who you are.